How's it going, guys? Will here. The start of the new year, so today I thought I'd be showing you what I'm going to be keeping on my phone in 2020. But there's a twist. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you may already know that around this time last year, I started practicing digital minimalism, seeing as I spent so much time on my phone and my computer. This couldn't really be reduced due to my line of work, but it was pretty cluttered all the same. So I decided to unclutter it and see what happened. More on that later. For now though, the first thing I always try to do is make good use of the stock apps. I use iMessage for pretty much all of my messaging needs, Apple Music for my music, which I actually prefer over Spotify at this point. You can find out why up there. But I like how it keeps everything centralized. So if I had a standard MP3 to my audio library on one of my computers, then I know it'll be available on any device that has Apple Music on it, which in my opinion is a really cool feature. This theme of keeping things centralized is pretty common on all of the stock apps, like the Notes app, which I also use. I've recently started jotting down ideas and often even scripts. Although, to be honest, in that regard, Google Docs is probably still my go-to. I like to make good use of the reminders to remind me of things I need to do, and the only non-stock time planning app I even keep on my phone is the Google Calendar, purely because I like the interface, and I personally find it easier to plan finite tasks. Next up, we're moving on to the apps that I've installed myself. I've organized everything into folders, and as I've said before, at first the grey squares and empty space might be a little morbid, but after a while you do get used to it, and I always know where everything is this way. I'm not forever scrolling through pages trying to find a specific app, because I know some people do this. I just personally prefer my folders. Speaking of, my folders are utilities, photo and video, social, medical, and games, and the amount of apps in a folder really varies on how much I use my phone for that specific task. In the first folder, which is actually a stock folder, I just added some more apps to it, we have 4 apps. So I personally love the stories feature on Instagram, and a good way of getting your story to stand out is to add some graphics. But curating specific graphics for stories, this can occasionally take hours. Unfold gives you gorgeous Instagram stories in minutes. I don't have the pro membership. For my use case, the free version works just fine, and when I'm curating a story nowadays, this is my first port of call. Next up, we have the Google Calendar, which, as I said before, is my go-to time management app. I like how easy it is to set tasks, check them off, and color code everything. I'm always using this because I do tend to get caught up in tasks that I know don't take that long, but I always spend way too long on them anyway. So having everything visually represented really helps keep me on track. Something else I suggest to keep yourself on track is reminders and alarms. I don't usually have to go that far, but as I said before, I often do use the reminders to remind me of things I need to do. Following on from this, we have Gmail. Up until very recently, I just used Apple Mail, but there is a feature missing from Apple Mail that basically makes it unusable with my inbox. Gmail will actually sort your emails into main, social, and I think promotions. And so every time someone sent me a coupon for something like gardening gloves, or I got a comment on a YouTube video, they were all displayed with equal priority in my Apple mailbox. Now, not that I don't like coupons for gardening gloves. Where did this gardening glove thing? That's not even in the script. But when I'm trying to see important emails on my phone, it is nice to have them laid out in a way where I can easily read them. So for that reason alone, Gmail is now my main mailing app. Finally, in this folder, I have Udemy. I'm currently learning how to program in Swift, and so I bought a course by Angela Yu that I would honestly recommend to anyone looking to get into Swift. I like to keep a full window whenever I'm programming, so I have the app on my phone so I can follow along with the tutorials. Moving on, we have the photo and video folder. And of course, first of all, we have Instagram. Instagram is probably my favorite social media app and definitely the one I use the most. I love the stories feature. It's a fun way of making something without cluttering up the grid. I also like Instagram for inspiration, as seeing the ways people are getting creative with their images is super inspiring. Yeah, overall, I really like Instagram. Following on from this, we have YouTube. Obviously, I keep this on my phone, and at this point, it's probably my most used video streaming service. I love watching other creators. I just prefer that indie aspect to the YouTube videos over things like Netflix shows. You also get access to a lot more niche videos opposed to Netflix. I love watching tech videos, but realistically, there aren't all that many shows about tech, so I like to keep YouTube on my phone. Next up is the YouTube Studio, which I'm not going to show you on camera, but this is basically where I monitor the channel. It's also where I answer your comments. It's laid out really nicely, and so I don't have to go like scrolling through my notifications on YouTube. It's just much easier. Moving on, there's Lightroom Mobile, which I actually do most of my casual editing on. And now that you can add both your own presets and raw photos, I see no reason as to why I shouldn't be editing my casual photos on my phone. After this, we have Google Docs. As I mentioned before, this is what I script most of my videos on. What I like about it is that I can access it from anywhere on any device. So that could be iOS, Android, Windows, or macOS. Basically any device with an internet connection, and I can access Google Docs. This is personally really good for my workflow, as it means I can script from anywhere. The final app I have in this folder is the Panasonic image app. You know those shots in my tech reviews when I'm on camera, and it seems like the camera's working from across the room? The Panasonic image app is how those shots happen. This is easily my favorite camera app I've ever used to get images from across the room, and it just makes my workflow so much easier. If you own a Panasonic camera, I very much recommend downloading this app. The next folder is my socials, where I only actually have 2 apps installed: Twitter and Facebook Messenger. Messenger is for my friends who don't use iMessage, and Twitter's mainly on there just for keeping up with the latest tech news. I barely use it otherwise. I find that keeping less social media apps on my phone actually stops me from wasting time, as it's kind of easy to otherwise. Opening an app on your phone is much less effort than searching for a website, potentially logging in and then using it. Because of this, when I must use social media, I tend to do so on my computer. After this, we have the health folder. The first app I have in here is Patient Access. This is an app from the NHS that I can't show you for obvious reasons, but this is the app that I use to put in prescription requests, book appointments, and as I have multiple different kinds of medicine, this app just simplifies it all in one place. The next app is honestly one that I suggest everyone, no matter how minimal, should have on their phone. What 3 Words is probably one of the most important apps on the App Store, as it basically has the entire world jotted out in 3x3 meter squares with, well, 3 different words. It can help you locate yourself no matter where you are, and so if you're in an emergency situation, you can quote the 3 words and it'll be much easier for you to get help. If you don't have it installed in your phone, pause the video here, install it, it could save your life. We're gonna have an intermission now while you go install that. Okay, so now that you've got that installed, let's take a look at the final app in this folder. Headspace is a pretty well-known guided meditation app that my friend Colin actually introduced me to about half a year ago, and it's honestly one of my most used apps. Meditation is a great way of clearing your mind, so you can get ready to be productive and be more focused in doing so. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done a ton of research into the actual health benefits of meditation, so I'm not gonna say this is anything more than personal experience. It just works well for me. The final folder I have on my phone is the games folder. Honestly, I barely ever play games on my phone. That's almost exclusively reserved for my Nintendo Switch, but I do keep both Animal Crossing and Coffee Corp on my phone just in case I have some spare time and want to play a few games. Animal Crossing is a certified classic at this point, but oh man, Coffee Corp, that's got to be one of my favorite mobile games I've ever played. I know it is in essence an idle clicker, but it's still fun. And after the games folder, that's it. Those are all the apps I use on my phone. Now, I briefly mentioned at the start that I decided to see what would happen when I uncluttered my phone, and what I found out after I got rid of useless apps. Well, I not only spent less time on my phone, and when I was using it, I was both more productive and more focused. Because of this, I actually took it upon myself to do this with my entire digital world. So this applies to my laptop, my iMac. I went full digital minimalist, have been for a while now. So what have I found out? Well, that's for another time. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. Remember to like the video if you want to see more content like this, and smash that subscribe button. I'm done for now, and I will see you guys in the next one.